But Amrabat's interesting, and I think that the one thing I would say about this is, I mean, this Man United transfer window, you almost can't say no to anything. I mean, we came into the window not expecting a goalkeeper, even though many people wanted one, expecting a really experienced, expensive striker. We're now looking at a goalkeeper and an inexperienced, up-and-coming striker. So I don't think you can say that Amrabat's not a player that could come in. And I know a lot of you in the chat quite like the idea of signing him. The interesting thing is there is I mean, and some people will say, oh, God, not again. The interesting thing is, just like Mason Mount, just like Anthony, just like Martinez, just like Ericsson, just like a lot of players that Ten Hag has been interested in and brought in the last 12 months, there is a Ten Hag Amrabat history. As a late teenager breaking through, Amrabat was at Utrecht, which is where Ten Hag was at that time. And they had a season together, and Amrabat has spoken about that and said, his attention to detail, his instruction was quite frustrating at the time, but I look at it now and it made me a better player. So there is a Ten Hag connection there as well. So it's that sort of makes it, as we know, probably even more likely. Now, I don't think we're at the point where it's going to happen, and again, it'll be a good question to ask Fabrizio later. But he's relatively cheap. He's a player that Ten Hag has worked with before. We're running out of options in and around that sort of defensive midfield area. Is he better than McTominay? Yes. And that always has to be a starting point. It might be what United do because it's about what Man United can do. Personally, can he do the job that Casemiro does? Can he play next to Casemiro? Well, I think he can. Can he be the successor to Casemiro? That's where I fall down at it. As a player that could improve our midfield, yes. But I did sort of hope we were going to go for a midfielder that can improve our midfield and be the successor in our midfield as well. Keep your eye on Amrabat. It's a player some of you have been mentioning for a while, and the reason I bring it in is that there actually was news stories over the weekend saying that we'd agreed personal terms, which is complete and utter bollocks. We've not completed personal terms with Amrabat, but it might be a player that United move for later on in the window because he's reasonably priced. But keep an eye on Barcelona. As I said, they're interested in him as well.